I think so. I think that you have to try and keep reinventing yourself musically. Like any art, you know, one piece of work leads to the next, and you have to do that piece of work to get to the next. You can't. There's no quick route. We work in a very disciplined way. It hasn't always been like that. You know, depending how much drinking and drugging was going on over the years, sometimes you couldn't count on me and sometimes you can't count on Martin, you know. Depends how much you've been drinking the night before or that morning. But it's not like that anymore. We show up to work. You know, Martin and I have changed a lot in that way. He gets very excited about work. He's really excited to start working a day. He loves being in the studio. He loves experimenting with these electronics and instruments. And Martin's also a great guitar player. You know, he knows his way around a guitar. And there's a lot of guitar on this record, but often it's manipulated through, you know, these modular synthesizers and then sent through an amplifier. And by the time you hear it, sounds nothing like a guitar, but it was driven from that particular performance.
How would you describe Delta Machine in Depeche Mode terms? What kind of album is it?
Well, I think that the record is, you know, it's heavily influenced by blues music. It's not a blues record, but hence the title Delta Machine. It's a blues-influenced record that's played by machines. And I think the record's quite raw. When I say raw, I mean once we had a sound that worked, it's just then that sound was driving the song. Then that's really what you'll hear in that particular song. We didn't want to fill in the empty space. We wanted to leave the space. If it's hanging in an ambient reverb, then let it hang in the you know, allow it to breathe and move. And I think it's the best record we've made for a while. Up to heaven. In the spiritual aspect of the record, the song content and the lyrical content as well, I would say, is based a lot in finding a place that we've been looking for. It's seeing what you want and actually feeling it and having it. Having to kind of let it go again, but really being there in the moment.
Do you think there will be a point when you and Martin will write together also?
Well, we wrote a song on this record again. We wrote a song called Long Time Lie, where I wrote all the lyrics and the vocal melodies, and Martin wrote the music behind that. You know, we talked about that actually at the end of this record with Ben Healy, the producer. Ben sat with Martin and me when we were trying to decide what songs should be on the record, which wasn't that difficult. Martin and I pretty much had the same list and almost the same order. And then Martin asked if next time if we make another record together, he said, you know, perhaps I could send you sort of some ideas, musical sort of ideas and pieces of work that I'm working on before they get really completed and finished, and you could sort of lend your vocal melodies and lyrics and stuff. And coming from mine, that was a really big compliment. And of course I said, that's it, like that's basically him saying, you know, you've made it as a songwriter now. You know, you know, you passed the test. And I'll take it. Coming from someone like Martin, who's written some fantastic songs for so many years, that's hard to do consistently. And of course, I said, "Yeah, you want to just send me something. We'll see what happens."
We got a viewer's question also, and it's from Anton, who saw the great documentary from Songs of Faith and Devotion, and there's a scene where where's Dave gone? He's up painting, and Anton is wondering, where is all this art?
Well, a lot of
it.
I used to paint a lot more, but and especially when I lived in Los Angeles, I'm ashamed to say I don't know where it is. Some of the years I lived in Los Angeles, I don't remember so well. Too much alcohol and drugs. But a lot of it was stolen. My house that I lived in Los Angeles when I was away at one point was completely ransacked and robbed. And there was lots of very personal things taken, personal stuff, pictures of my children. They're just things, little pictures that they had drawn and sent to me, or it means nothing to anybody else, but everything was taken from the house. And there was a lot of paintings and photographs and stuff stolen. So somebody has the stuff somewhere. I haven't painted really for a long time. I think about it a lot. I have stuff to paint with out of my house on Long Island, but always when I try and find time to slow down and go do something like that, something else happens. It takes up my time, but during that particular period, during Songs of Faith and Devotion, I was painting quite a lot. I found it more interesting than making music a lot of the time, and I like to be on my own, so I would spend hours painting. Anton saw me painting a couple of times. I remember Anton saying to me, I was painting in Madrid, in this house we lived in. We were recording in the house too, and I was up in my room painting, and it was in the middle of the night sometime, and Anton came in my room or something, and he said to me something that stuck with me. He said, "Wow, you painted this, Dave?" Yeah. And he said, I see things through my lens that I wish I could paint. So it was kind of a compliment from Anton too. I can't paint like that, but I can do it, and you do it very well through your lens, Anton. Find those pictures, the same thing. Paintings. He used to send me Beefheart, because he used to tell me stories about Beefheart. Painting, and he would call Anton up in the middle of the night. "Hello, Anton. How are you? I am painting." I understand it. It's making music and sort of sharing that canvas with other people is a little difficult at times, but it's also very rewarding. But I would like to paint again if I get some time. Funny enough, my son Jimmy, he bought me for my last birthday big canvases and paint and stuff. And it's just, I feel bad every time I see it sitting there. He spent all his money to get me this really nice gift, and I haven't yet used it. But I will.
Very nice talking to you, Dave.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. What's up?
What's up?
I just got to, I got a drink over here, actually. I got to go use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure.
I should pop mine. Just a minute ago.
Is that mine or yours?
This is yours.
What is it, 2 of